Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game 40 Thieves. 40 Thieves is a solitaire card game which requires two standard 52 card decks. It's sort of a mix of a bunch of different solitaires, and so you'll see elements of many different solitaires in this game. And so, in terms of setting the game up, you'll deal 13 cards face down to a reserve pile. The top card of the reserve pile would be turned face up. You'll also have you'll also want to leave room for 8 foundation piles. In the first foundation pile, you'll have to deal a card. That card, which is dealt, acts as the lead ring for the game. In this case, the lead ring for the game would be the jack. You also have 9 tableau piles. In these 9 tableau piles, the first 4 tableau piles are dealt 1 card each, and the remaining 5 tableau piles are dealt 8 cards each. All the cards in the tableau piles are face up, right? So first 4 piles, 1 card each. Remaining 5 piles, 8 cards each. After dealing cards to the reserve, the foundation, and the tableau, the remaining cards are set aside, forming a stock pile. You'll also have an empty waste pile. In terms of the gameplay, the first foundation pile is dealt a card, which acts as the lead rank. The remaining 7 piles must start from the same rank. So, in this case, the first foundation pile was dealt a jack. That jack is the lead rank for the game. The remaining 7 piles must all start with a jack. Foundation piles are built up by suit, starting from the lead rank to the rank 1 below the lead rank, right? And so you can go in a full circle, wrapping from king to ace, right? That's permissible here. That's commonly referred to as turning the corner in card games. So, let's just show, since jack is the lead suit, we might as well go ahead and place this jack right here, right? And so that was a move that was permissible. And so after this, we would place queen and king, and we would continue the foundation piles. The tableau is divided into 2 parts. In the first 4 piles, or the first part of the tableau, cards are played in descending order in alternate colors, right? And so if you're playing a card on another, the card must be of 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. So the 7 is 1 rank lower than the 8. The 8 is red. The 7 is black. Therefore, the 7 is 1 rank lower of the opposite color, and we can go ahead and make a play like so. Okay. Also note that in the remaining 5 piles, or the second half of the tableau, the cards are played even though it's not really a half because it's 4 and 5, right? 4 piles versus 5 piles, but in terms of terminology, it is commonly referred to as the second half of the tableau. In the second half of the tableau, cards are played in descending order by suit, right? And so here it was 1 rank lower of the opposite color. Here it's 1 rank lower of the same suit. So this 4 is 1 rank lower than this 5 of the same suit, right? They are both spades. We can go ahead and play them. This 3 is 1 rank lower than this 4. It's a spade. They're both spades, so it's 1 rank lower of the same suit. We can go ahead and place them together like so. Groups of cards can be moved together between the tableau piles if they follow the, I guess, legal move for that pile, okay? And so let us sort of show what I mean by that. So essentially, I can move a group of cards from here to here, okay? Provided that the 2 cards making contact are 1 rank, so the card making contact is 1 rank lower of the opposite color. Why is that? Because in the first half of the tableau, the rule is the card making contact must be 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. So I can move any cards or any group of cards provided that the 2 cards making contact, right? The card making contact is 1 rank lower and of the opposite color than the card it is making contact with. I can move cards from here to here, provided that the card making contact is 1 rank lower and of the same suit, right? So you can move groups. You just have to follow the same rules. The same rules apply. Just note that the cards making contact must be, I guess, following the rules for that tableau. Also note that in terms of moving groups of cards, you can only move groups of cards that are organized in some sort of sequence, right? So here, these are organized in a descending sequence, as well as here they are organized in a descending sequence. If a group of cards is organized in a descending sequence, you are allowed to move it. And so notice how we can't just move this Jack 5, Jack 9 to Ace 8, because that's not a particular sequence. However, we can move the 5, 4, 3. We can move the 8 and the 7. Why? Because they are in a descending order sequence. If you're in a descending order sequence, you are allowed to move that entire. I mean, if you have a group of cards organized in a sequence, you are only then allowed to move the cards. So, that's pretty much it in terms of the rules. We will do a bit of gameplay, but since there are 2 decks, we won't be able to go through the entire game because that would be too time consuming. But there are a couple of rules left, so let us explain them. The top card of the reserve pile can be played to the foundation or the tableau, right? So this 3 of diamonds is in the reserve pile. It could be played to the foundation or to the tableau, right? Also note that if we've played this top card of the reserve pile, and so we'll play it to the tableau here because we can, right? That wasn't the best move, but we just did it for the sake of demonstration. The face down card of the reserve pile would then be turned face up. So as you can see, we have the face down card of the reserve pile, right? This queen was face down. As soon as we move this 3 of diamonds, that the, I guess, card covering it gets lifted, and we are able to lift that card face up. Also note that you can draw from the stockpile anytime. That deals 1 card face up into the waste pile. Once you go through the entire stockpile, you can flip it back over and go through it again. You can do that twice, right? The flipping over sequence, you can do that twice. And so in total, you'll be able to go through your stockpile 3 times. Go through it, then flip your first flip through, or redeal as they call it. Go through it again for a second time, and then redeal your second time, and then go through it a third time, right? Also note that the top card from the waste pile can also be played to the tableau or the foundation piles. So essentially, where you think you can move cards, you can move them, right? Just note that the first 4 tableau piles have a different organization rule than the last 5 tableau piles, right? Yeah, so the first half and the second half, as they're commonly referred to, have different rules in terms of building the cards and building the suits. So let us do a quick gameplay demo here. Although it doesn't look like we can really get anywhere with this hand. Not that I'm at least aware of right here. I'm not really paying attention, I guess, too well. We have 2 jacks buried deep. We have a jack buried a little deep there. It'll be hard to move this king, these 2 kings, right? And so, not really much else we can do. Let's just flip through. See, okay, we got a queen. Yes. Okay, now we want to try to get the king of hearts. How do we go about it? Getting the king of hearts? Well, we'd have to move the 10. To move the 10, we'd have to move it on a jack. Okay, so we'll just keep going, I guess. Just to demonstrate, really. Right, so we got another jack. So now we're just looking for a queen. We got a king, so that's nice. Now we're looking for the ace of hearts. The ace of hearts. Just move that 2 right there, might as well. So, I guess I'll go ahead and move that like so. We can just keep going like this. I'm not really paying attention properly, and so do not emulate my gameplay because it's not perfect. It's actually quite flawed right now, but I'm just doing it for the sake of showing you how, I guess, a few games would be played, or a few cards would be stacked, rather. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that. Right. You can go ahead and do that. So if we keep going through, I have jack. And so I'm not playing properly at all right now, right? This is not how you play, and just in terms of just flipping through the deck. But I sort of wanted to show you guys a bit of gameplay, right? And so that's a bit of gameplay. Do note that, let us try to demonstrate. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it here, but we'll play a bit more. I wanted to be able to demonstrate that the ways you can move, I guess, groups of cards between these two piles. And so we'll have to, yeah, I probably missed on the opportunity to do so. So the rule in the first half of the tableau is that the card that is making contact must be one rank lower of the opposite color. So even though all of these cards here, right, the 4, the 3, and the 2, they don't follow that rule, the card that's making contact with this pile is the 5 of spades. The 5 of spades is one rank lower than the 6 of hearts and is of the opposite color. Therefore, it does not matter what the rest of the cards are, okay? Since the two cards making contact follow the rule for the tableau, they can be stacked. Notice how this wipes out the sequence. Even though we have 2 to 10 here in sequence, in terms of moving a sequence out of the tableau, it must follow the sequential rule for that tableau. And so notice I can move the sequence right here because it follows the alternate color sequence for this first half tableau. Right? I can move the group here because it follows the descending order same suit rule for the second tableau or second set of tableau. Right? But I can't move this out of the first tableau because it destroys the rule. So that sort of shows, right? You can move a group of cards if it follows the rules for that set of tableau. So we'll just keep playing here. Not really too fond. I guess that did help us a bit. It wouldn't make sense to sit here and keep playing forever. And so that essentially wraps up how to play Demons and Thieves. It is a mix of, I guess, certain solitaire games. And if you play solitaire, then you'll understand which ones. Combines all their good elements. But it is hard to win, right? It's very hard to win because the two, I guess, the games that it's based off of are the hardest solitaire games out there. And so when you mix them together, the difficulty level stays the same essentially. So that wraps up how to play Demons and Thieves. I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.